Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic senior, and I'm the world's smartest and laziest man. I'm not Elon Musk smart. I'm not good with math. I'm people smart. I read them. And I'm not a workaholic like Musk. I work the least amount possible for the maximum return. Some people call that lazy. I call it efficient. He works 120 hours a week. I work 1 hour a week on stage. Who's smarter? Sure, he's saving the planet with his cars and rockets, but I'll save your mind with comedy, if you find this funny. If not, doors at the back of the room. I'm retired, but I was forced to retire because of memory issues. Apparently, it's a disability if you can't remember your friends and family. I thought it was a blessing when I forgot them. When the doctor asked if I'd like to try an experimental drug that might bring my past memories back, I said no thanks. I'm fine with forgetting them. I think that's when he started to think I was psychopath instead of autistic. He's probably right. What I should have done is taken the pills and gone back to my old career, computer programming. But then I'd be working 40 hours a week, and most of my pay would go to the government for back taxes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in the opener, that I owe a shit ton of back taxes. That's the official amount, shit ton. I'm not good at math, but I did math on back taxes, and even if AI doesn't ruin the field of computer programming, it'd take 10 years or more to pay what I owe. That seems like a lot of work when I can just write the world's funniest stand-up routine and pay off the amount in one night. If you laugh. If you're not laughing, I'm fucked. Actually, I'm not fucked. I could declare bankruptcy and walk away from the debt. It would ruin my credit rating, but that's not a problem, because it's already zero. I have no credit, so bankruptcy is not a threat to make me pay. However, the only thing I like more than laughing is a good story. If I pay back all my taxes within a year of me standing on stage, or one of these stupid videos taking off on YouTube, then that's a great fucking story. So either I work my ass off for 10 years, assuming the drugs worked, or write comedy for 1 year or less. Which would you do? If I was pretty, I'd just find a rich old lady to marry and hope she dies soon. That sounds mean, but I'm autistic. I'm too honest, according to the doctors. I clearly don't have the looks. I cut my own hair, and I wear my clothes until they fall off my body. Plus, I look young. Too young for a 9-year-old woman to hook up with. I'd look like her son. Good for her, but... Luckily, I'm lazy and smart. Comedy will solve my lack of love life as well. At least one woman will listen to this and think, he's cute, or he's smart, or I'd fuck him. Look at the millions Elon spends on his kids and wives, or whatever he calls the women he impregnates. I won't have to spend a cent. They come to the show, they fall in love with me, I go home with them, eat their food, stay at their home until they kick me out, and then go back on stage to attract the next one. Lazy and brilliant. Or I get lucky, and the first night I meet the love of my life and live happily ever after. That's a pretty fucking good story too. Or I bomb on stage, go on a bender, and end up living on the streets the rest of my life. Whichever. Elon has the flash and the cash, but I doubt he's a good listener. I don't imagine him having long, deep conversations with his concubines, unless it's about rockets. I, on the other hand, am functionally mute. I'm an excellent listener. I'll listen to your woman problems all night long. I've got nothing better to do but look for material in your words. So to summarize, I'm disabled, autistic, broke, and can't dress myself. A perfect catch. Disabled, so you know I won't go anywhere. Autistic, so you know I'm honest. I literally can't lie, and everything I've said so far is 100% true. I'm broke, but I don't need much to live on. A few pizza pops, and some beer. Plus I'm funnier when I drink, not meaner like most men. I can't dress myself, but I don't care what I wear. Buy me whatever you think I look good in, and I'll wear it, unless it looks gay. I did the math, and the only way my lifestyle is attractive to another person is comedy. Put all this information in Tinder, and even if I looked like Brad Pitt, I wouldn't get a swipe. I'm not lazy, this is just a better way. Actually, call me lazy. Call me a fool. The more ridiculous the story becomes, the greater the chance for success. I'm lazy, but I'm lucky. When I was forced to live on disability, I knew it would be nearly impossible to find a place in Vancouver. Then, like a miracle, I found a room to rent in a house full of international students. I lied and said I was a student, but to be fair, I was planning on returning to school if I could. Currently, on my floor, I share a kitchen and 2 washrooms with 3 female students in their 20s. I'm lucky because all of them remind me of my daughter, and I treat them like my daughter. I only talk to them when needed. I say hi to them when I run into them in the hallway, but there's no long conversations. Everyone seems to mind their own business. Sometimes I hear them talking and laughing in the kitchen, but I don't join in the conversation. Again, like with a teenage daughter, like when a teenage daughter has friends over, you have to stick around the house so they don't get into trouble, but you try and give them some privacy. My housemates are all pretty, but again, like my daughter's I try not to notice. The only thing I do notice and don't like is the long black hair in the bathrooms. On their head, it's pretty, but stuck to the walls of the shower, it's not. The draining is disgusting. I've learned not to look at my feet while I shower. I tried to shove it down the drain with my toe, but I started to gag. I'm glad I only had 1 daughter. 3 would have been a hair nightmare. To be fair, that's not completely true. One of the 2 showers gets pretty bad, but the one I use has been good for months. The girl that uses it doesn't seem to shed as much, and I can get it down the drain before heaving. I feel sorry for that landlord when the pipe backs up. I'm not going to say my housemates' names for 2 reasons. 1, to protect their privacy when this comedy gold crushes somewhere. 2, because I can't pronounce any of their names. I can spell them as I see their mail on the kitchen table, but I can't pronounce them, even though they all introduced themselves to me the day they arrived. I have nicknames that I use in my head. The smoker, the nurse, and this one sounds bad, but Petri dish, which is close to how her name is spelled, so I think it fits. It's not about her cleanliness habits. In fact, Petri dish is the one who sheds the least. The smoker scares me, not on purpose, but we both walk quietly, and too many times I'm either walking out of the house for a smoke, or she's coming in after one, and we scare each other coming around a corner or the stairs. We both laugh, but I'm considered asking her to wear a bell. I'm not sure my heart can take too many more surprises. The nurse is the friendliest. She's the only one who asked me how I broke my hand when I did. The other 2 didn't care, or I guess she probably told them. She asked if I need help with anything, but the only problem I was having was wiping my ass and showering. Unfortunately, I remembered my golden rule, and if I wouldn't ask my daughter, I shouldn't ask her. And I didn't ask her for help. I kept my mouth shut, like I normally do around them. I do have a backup plan for taxes if this so-called comedy fails. Counterterrorism. I'll explain. Figured out at least one of my other housemates, not the ones that live on my floor, but at least one of the other so-called students, is probably a spy for their home country. And my plan is to catch them and collect a reward so large it pays my taxes and sets me up with a nest egg. I can always tell when new students move in. The Wi-Fi sucks for a few days, as I think they're watching porn 24/7. Then they get out of their system. I have no proof. This is a simple deduction, as I notice the Pornhub homepage looks all different, like someone new is influencing the house feed. To be fair, it's not just porn. We all got a notice about someone downloading GTA 5 from BitTorrents. I have respect for the game, but there are better ways to steal games than torrents. Maybe I should give new housemates a lesson in VPNs. Use promotional code KILLTONY if you sign up for ExpressVPN. Old comedians and old rich dudes are the only guys getting women in their 20s. Sorry, I should say successful comedians, who are probably rich too, but I think they prefer to be called a successful comedian over old rich dude. Now that I'm 60, I'm surrounded by way more 20-something girls than I ever was in my 20s. Back then, if you didn't work with them or go to school, they didn't seem to exist, except at the bars. Now I live with 3. I go to the coffee shop or library during the day, and again, every barista is 20-something, hot and exotic looking. Where the fuck was the Starbucks in the 80s? I would have either gotten a job there or spent my paychecks watching them work. Now I just look like a perverted old man, living with students and drooling over the barista who was extra nice to me one time. Never talking to her, but making her a character in every demented script idea I write while she works in front of me to pay her bills before she becomes a famous actress or author. It's hard not to look like a pervert if you're old and alone. I try and go to the park and write, but it's noisy. Fucking kids. But at least I don't look like a pervert there. I stay on the other side of the park, sitting on a bench, tucked between a couple of trees, with a telephoto lens hidden in my gym bag. Just kidding. The Samsung 24 has a great zoom, no long lens needed. Unfortunately, I can't lie. I have a Samsung 7. Technically I have two, so it's like a 14 if I glue them together. That's an autism joke, in case you haven't figured that out yet. In truth, I can tell which guys at the park are perverts, and which are just lonely like me, ear hair. When they sit beside me, I check it real quick. If it's long and out of control like mine, then I know they're safe. If it's neatly trimmed, then he probably has a wife at home who takes care of it. Either way, not a pervert. To be fair, you can see where I'm going with this joke, so I'm going to abort it. I do go to the park in the summer to watch the kids. Not perverted because I avoid the end of the park with the wading pool and playground. In that end, nothing but kids falling off things or screaming at the top of their lungs like it's the first time they've touched water. I hang out by the ball diamonds, where parents let their kids run free like dogs. I like watching the kids push themselves until they fall face first in the grass. We need to stop making jokes about kids, no matter what. After 5 it sounds perverted. I'll go back to jokes about my pretty international housemates and how they have pillow fights every night while scantily clad around the air I'll go back to the jokes about my pretty international housemates and how they have pillow fights every night while scantily clad because the air conditioner is quote-unquote broken again. That last part isn't true. In fact, I like it cold and leave the air conditioner on all the time, but one of them turns it off at night when I'm asleep. The following stereotype is true though. People from other countries cook weird shit. I don't mind. I can't smell. My nostrils are blown out from years of coke. Not true. Adderall, yes. Cocaine, no. However, all their exotic cooking makes the recycling bin way more interesting to check out when I make a deposit. I do have one complaint about one of them. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm too shy to say anything about it, and I kind of find it funny now, like when the smoker scares the crap out of me. The complaint is, the recycling bin is near the door to my room, and I, and 2 other people, gently place their articles in the bin, while the final person thinks they are in the WNBA and making a 3-pointer at the buzzer, who throws a can from 10 feet away into a bin, and who rebounds it off my wall like a backboard. And I can't even figure out which one of the 3 does it, because it normally happens during my afternoon nap, and I'm too lazy to get up and say anything. If I accidentally catch her in the act one day, I'll find something funny or sarcastic to say to get my point across, just like I used to with my daughter. The only golden rule you need to attract women, especially if you're lazy. The daughter golden rule is the only rule you need to attract women, especially if you're lazy. Now on to the racist jokes. Some of you may have heard about a Trump rally where comedian Tony Hinchcliffe told a great joke about Puerto Rico, and the mainstream press had a conniption fit, which just drove his popularity even higher. Well, maybe it'll work for me. Remember the dream? One set to change a lifetime? Mine? Yours too if you think this shit is funny. Not just desperate and pathetic. I can't be a complete racist because I don't know what countries my housemates come from, but I would say anywhere in part of whatever you consider Asia, and then some from the other brown areas of the world. Is that racist enough? I mean, there are 3 rice cookers on the counter. Can't they share one big one? I'd even buy it because I have a rice cooker in my room, and the only reason I keep it in my room is because I eat late at night. But if there was a continual house pot of rice, I wouldn't need to. Maybe after I pay off the taxes, I'll buy the house one big pot and unlimited rice, on one condition: no rice maggots. What are rice maggots? Glad you asked. This is mostly a condition that affects white people, or people like me. Weird. Rice maggots are pieces of cooked or uncooked rice found on the floor or in the sink or any place you'd rather not see a maggot. And for a split second, your brain says maggot. Then it remembers the odds of maggots are much lower than rice. I told you I'm not good at math. I should have figured that out by now. I won't be a Nazi about it. Here's free rice, but please keep the rice maggots under control. Is Nazi racist? I really need to get counseled before I even stand up. Saves me some time. I wish one of my housemates was Puerto Rican, but would they be international? What is Puerto Rico? It's not a state, but it's American? American isn't international for me, especially from a territory. The whole concept is a second thought. Make it a state or cut it free and let it float away like a big fat garbage patch. See, I knew Tony was right to make that joke. It feels great to call things garbage patches. My hair is a garbage patch. My clothes are garbage patches. I'm a fucking garbage patch person. Hi, I'm David. I'm a retired autistic garbage senior with a plan to change my life through comedy and making fun of everything and everyone in my life, now and forever. Talk to you tomorrow, Grace.